Hey guys, welcome back. I just had a couple of quick shout outs, three of them actually. Adriano has just been crushing it, getting so many assignments done. Hunter also got a whole bunch of work done all at once. So it was really great to see. And then also it was really nice to talk to you, William, on chat and on email. So please keep it up. We'd like to see more from you. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about multiplying with two decimals. Not just one, but two. Now remember the rule we talked about last week, yesterday. The rule we talked about yesterday is when you have one decimal. When you have one decimal, you match. When you have two decimals, there's actually a different rule that we follow. We no longer worry about matching. We actually do something different. So go ahead and jump into the lesson with me, and I'll show you what we do. All right, guys, here we are today when we multiply with two. How many? Two decimals, not four. That was confusing. Two decimals. So remember I said yesterday that when you multiply with one decimal, we just match. When we multiply with two decimals, we do not follow that rule. We actually have a different rule, and I'm going to show you what this means in just a minute. So this is like taking 3 dimes and making 4 groups, and each group has 3 dimes. So here, 4 times 3 gives me 12. 4 times 0 is 0. Oops, I forgot to carry the 1. 4 times 0 is 0 plus the 1. So here's my 12, right? So this one I match because that's a rule. One decimal, you match. Okay, so let's look at this problem. This is like I took my 3 dimes and put them into even tinier groups. This is a decimal number. So it's like I put them into a group and took only 1/4 of that group. Okay, so actually it wouldn't be 1/4, but I took only a part of the group. I took 4/10 of the group. I didn't take the whole group. So this one's going to be different. Clearly, these two numbers are different. So would I get the exact same answer? Would that really make sense? So 4 times 3 is my 12, carry the 1. 0 times everything makes 0, so there's no thing. So if I put the decimal here and match, because, it's 1 space, 1 space, 1 space, how does it make any kind of sense that this gives you the same answer as this? Does that make any sense at all? Like, why? Why would that create the same answer? This is 4. This is 4/10. This is 4 whole groups. This is taking the group, splitting it into 10, and taking 4 of those sections. Why would these make the same answer? That doesn't make any sense. So clearly I can't follow the same rule where I just match like I do when I have one decimal. But I don't, I've got two. Is this annoying yet? 2 decimals. So I cannot get the same answer. So what I do is I count the place value in both numbers and then make that into the answer. So this one is over 1. This one is also over 1, meaning between the decimal and the end of the number, there's 1 digit. Okay, so the 1 plus 1 makes 2. So in my answer, my place value has to be over 2 places, meaning between the decimal and the end of the answer, there has to be 2 numbers. So if I put a decimal here, there are no numbers after. Remember, this is about after the decimal. If I put the decimal here, this makes the same answer, and that doesn't make sense. But there's only 1 number after the decimal. So if I put it here, now there are 2 numbers after the decimal. So that's why the decimal goes there. There's a naked ones place in front of it, so I need to fill that hole with a 0 to show that there are no ones. This and this is not the same answer. This is $1.20. This is 12 cents. Okay, I had my 3 dimes and I didn't even take full groups of them. I took parts of them. So this makes sense. This would not make sense for this answer. Okay, so remember when there are two is annoying now. How about now? When there are 2, we follow a different rule. So when there are 2, we add place value in both decimals and use for the answer. All right, so that's why I moved it over 2 places instead of just 1, like I did here. All right, so let's look at a bit more of a complex number and practice that. So for example, if I had, all these numbers are pretty small. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the work we're going to do today, and I want something that kind of matches so it doesn't feel like you're doing something crazy. So if we had 0.3 times 0.13, okay? So I can, again, use place value sections. This, I'm going to ignore the 0 in front of the decimal because it has no value. That's a 1-digit by 2-digit number. This is 1 by 2. So if I wanted to make the rectangle, I'd make 1 by 2. So this is my 1-digit number of a 3. This is a 10 plus a 3 to make 13. Sorry, I didn't realize you can see it. So 10 times, look, it's just like in class. Nobody yelled at me to say, move it over, Mrs. Cat. All right, so 10 times 3, that makes 30. 3 times 3, that makes 9. Add them together, that gives me 39. Decimals over 1, 2, 3 places. So the decimal has to go over so that there's 3 numbers between the decimal and the end of the number. If I put it here, there's only 1. If I put it here, there's only 2. So I have to put it over and actually add a 0 between the decimal and the answer to show where it goes. So 0.039. I'm going to turn it and show standard algorithm. When you multiply 2 digits, it doesn't matter which one you put first. I typically like to put the one with a longer number on top just because it makes my brain feel happy, but I could put the 0.3 on top and the 0.13 on the bottom. However, I don't prefer to do it that way. Now, notice I am not lining up the decimals. We do not line up the decimals when we multiply them. We only align decimals when we add and subtract them. I'm going to go ahead and multiply here. 3 times 3 gives me my 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Space holder. That makes it just a bunch of zeros. So really I have my 39 just like I had before. And I need to go over 1, 2 places plus 1 place. So that makes a space holder that has to be over 3 spaces. 1, 2, I have a gap, so I fill that gap with a 0. Now there are 3 digits after the decimal. Also, because I have nothing in my ones place, I actually fill that hole with a 0 to say that there are no ones. So this is a purely decimal number. All right, so please remember, it is not the matching rule like when we have just 1 decimal. This is a 2. How about now? Is it annoying now? 2-digit number or 2 decimal number. So I have to combine, put together both decimals. I'm not just going to match. Plus, if I have it over 2 and over 1, how would I match that? There's no in between 2 and 1, so it makes sense that you'd put them together and make 3. All right, guys, today's assignment is page... Ooh, I hit it. Hang on, where did I hide it at? Oh, right in front of me. Page 128. Let's again go ahead and do the evens. So that's 48 through 64, but only the evens. All right. Again, page 128, problems 48 through 64, but the evens. All right, guys, see you on the next one. 2, 2, 2.